Knives Out is going to be a difficult one to talk about without spoiling, because the reason we watch murder mystery films is to experience the thrill of seeing all the pieces of the puzzle come together. The smallest of details in murder mystery films can often be considered spoilers, and trust me, Knives Out is stuffed with small details. So I'm going to tread lightly here. But short answer, I loved it. From start to end, Rian Johnson had me on the hook, and I relished watching every second of this eccentric whodunit. It's time to talk about Knives Out. Hey up guys! So Knives Out is written and directed by Rian Johnson, the man that gave us The Last Jedi, as well as some awesome genre-blending films like Looper and Brick. His latest film, Knives Out, tackles the genre of the classic whodunit murder mystery, a genre that is often associated with the 1930s and 40s when it was made popular by authors such as Agatha Christie. It's evident that Johnson has a deep-rooted love for the genre, but he's also completely aware of the codes, conventions, and cliches that often leave the genre feeling quite dated. You only have to look at 2017's star-studded, underwhelming Murder on the Orient Express to see how stodgy these films can be. Johnson, however, has infused Knives Out with a breezy sense of self-awareness, making it a very fresh and breezy watch. Because he's cheekily subverting expectations, he's created something that feels old school, but also modern at the same time, and it will keep you guessing right until the very end. The plot of the film is centered around the death of best-selling crime novelist Harlan Thrombey, who's played in this film by Christopher Plummer, who is found dead in his attic study the morning after his 85th birthday party. The way his throat was cut indicates that it was a suicide, but Detective Benoit Blanc, who's played by Daniel Craig, suspects foul play and invites all of Harlan's family members and employees who were present at the party back to Harlan's secluded house for interrogation. The opening interrogations cleverly provide the viewer with all the necessary exposition about the setting, the characters, as well as their motives as to why each one of them might have killed Harlan. As each one of the family members recounts where they were and what they saw that night, the vignettes add up to one broader picture of the truth. The colourful cast of characters, or suspects if you will, include Harlan's eldest daughter Linda, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, her cheating husband Richard, played by Don Johnson, and their son Ransom, the black sheep of the family, played by Chris Evans. There's Harlan's daughter-in-law Joni, a self-absorbed influencer played terrifically by Toni Colette, and her teenage daughter Meg, played by Katherine Langford. And then there's Harlan's youngest son Walt, who's played by Michael Shannon, his wife Donna, played by Riki Lindhome, and their alt-right offspring Jacob, who's played by Jaden Martell. Every one of them are shady and twitchy enough to be suspicious of. The only attendee that Benoit rules out is Harlan's trusted nurse and friend Marta, who's played by Ana de Armas, whose nationality is somewhat of a recurring gag, but I don't want to spoil it for you. And with her kind, compassionate nature, Benoit enlists her as his Watson to help crack the case. First of all the performances in Knives Out are brilliant. Everyone is having fun here, and it's like I say, when they're having fun, you're having fun. There's 4 performances that really stand out, and that's because 3 of those are playing delightfully against type. That's Daniel Craig, Toni Colette, and Chris Evans. Daniel Craig looks like he's having more fun here playing tweed-wearing Benoit than he's ever had playing every boy's dream role, James Bond. His Kentucky accent is ridiculous because it sounds like foghorn leghorn with a mouthful of molasses. Definitely something I was concerned about when I saw the trailer for this film, but after I got used to it, it didn't bother me at all. In fact, I actually admired Craig's choice. Toni Colette is seriously channeling some Gwyneth Paltrow Goop vibes as the obnoxious, social media savvy lifestyle guru Joni. She's arguably the funniest character in this film. Somebody give her character her own spin-off series on Netflix. I'd watch that show. And Chris Evans, who has spent the last 8 years playing America's ass Captain America, has gone with a role that is the very antithesis of Golden Boy Steve Rogers, and that's the swaggering bad boy, Ransom. As for the 4th performance mentioned, that honour goes to Ana de Armas, who plays Marta. She's the straight man to Daniel Craig's wacky detective. Her friendship to Harlan is the most visibly authentic pairing, and de Armas completely holds her own amongst a cast of far more famous faces. Rian Johnson's script is wickedly fun, and it constantly keeps you on your toes. Just when you think you know what's coming, he completely subverts your expectations and takes you in a totally different direction. That's the thing, Johnson is aware of what we as an audience expect in a murder mystery film, but he refuses to play by the rules and conventions. And because he knows what we are expecting, he exploits those expectations with a lot of tongue-in-cheek humour, mainly given to us through the two police officers that accompany Detective Blanc. That's Lieutenant Elliot and Trooper Wagner, played by Lakeith Stanfield and Noah Segan. Lieutenant Elliot actually points out the all too creepy setting for this murder. He actually says the guy practically lives inside a clue board. And Trooper Wagner has one of the funniest observational lines when he says, "That was the dumbest car chase ever." These are all playful winks given to us by Johnson, and it's why this film is one of the fun and funniest films of 2019. And quickly going back to the subject of Harlan's house, the art direction from Jeremy Woodward is impeccably designed. Harlan's rustic house is a character in this film. It's the kind of film setting that you kind of hope they make into an attraction that you can visit and walk around. There's lots of hidden passageways, taxidermy, paintings, eyeballs that feel like they're watching you, giving you that feeling that somebody knows something more than what they're letting on. The same goes with the production design. The devil really is in the details. And there's probably 100 things that I didn't catch on the first viewing, which is why I want to watch this again, because of the things that I might have missed. The score by Nathan Johnson, that's Ryan's cousin by the way, is a cunning mix of suspenseful chills and Hitchcockian thrills. Ooh, that rhymed. I like that. The lickety-split editing is done very well and contributes to the breezy pace of the film. My only negative is something minor, and that is that this is a star-studded ensemble cast, and not everyone is allotted the same amount of screen time as others, so a couple of the characters do get pushed to the back, but that is kind of the risk you take when you have a film with a cast this large. Not everyone's going to get an equal slice of the pie. To summarize, guys, Knives Out is one of the most entertaining films I have seen all year. What I loved about it is that Johnson managed to take a tired, recycled format and find a way to make it new and fresh. It's a completely original film, and it's not in the least bit predictable. The characters are all really likable. It's very quotable too. A will reading is like a community theatre production of a tax return. It's fast-paced, the art direction and production design is pristine, and it's just a finely tuned, clever, hysterically fun film. So let's ask my 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Yes, I adored this film. I'm going to be adding it to my collection. It is going to get watched many, many times by yours truly. Question number 2, am I going to recommend it for you guys? Duh, of course I am. I think everybody can find the joy within this film. I am totally going to recommend it. And question number 3, what score am I going to give it out of 10? I do wish some of the characters got a little bit more to work with, but I had such a blast watching Knives Out that part of me thinks that I wouldn't want any of it to be different because it's so damn entertaining just the way it is. So, originally I was going to mark it down slightly, but the more I think about this film, the more I realise I love it. So, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give Knives Out a score of 10 out of 10. I love this film, so sue me. There we go, guys. That is my review of Knives Out. But as always, remember, this is just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of Knives Out? And a quick question is for all of you that have seen this film. Who was your favourite character from this film? Because there is a plethora of awesome, awesome characters. Want to know who you think was the best? Whatever you think, be sure to let your thoughts, opinions, and musings be heard in that comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video and you think I deserve it, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. And of course, if you want to be up to date on all my vids from Toronto and Venice, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, any social media, you can find all those links in that video description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.